What's up, everyone? Thursday night football, Giants at San Francisco. Where my turds at? It is that time again. Another showdown breakdown with the Tri-Goat community. Here we go. By the way, what I loved the Monday night situation in general, the doubleheader, the play, the two game. There's so many showdowns all over the place.
I wasn't initially like into it, the idea, but I love a small slate. I love a 2-gamer or a 3-gamer, and I love that when one game's I can go back to the other one and switch or have them both on the screen on YouTube TV. I'm kind of into it.
It was awesome. And unfortunately, though, now we get kind of a less good game here, guys, between the Giants and the 49ers. And by all stretches of the imagination, the 49ers are about to put a beat down on the Giants. No, I mean, I'm really interested to see if we have some other angles for this game that we can really look at. The big news, or the news that we're waiting on, is Saquon Barkley.
I believe it's official.
No, he's officially ruled out.
Oh, it's official. Oh,
yeah, so really we're only waiting on what? Ayuk and anybody else?
Ayuk and then Wan'Dale Robinson, but Ayuk.
Yes. Wan'Dale doesn't matter. So I mean, he does, but not really. And so it's just Ayuk. Will he play? And I think Ayuk is actually going to play. I
think so too.
Yes.
So all right, let's get into this one, guys. But on this onslaught, on this I don't know what to call it. I think an onslaught is forthcoming.
Appropriate.
I have an idea. All right, I'm going to try something here. Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
How about this for the matchups tool? Let's blow this thing out. A little Control Plus on the old browser. This is going to mess me up later when I try to switch screens, but whatever. A little Control Plus action here. All right, guys, let's talk matchups in this game. And of course, the big thing is, San Francisco is a great defense. They're at home. The Giants are like a vulnerable offense on the road, flying all the way to San Francisco. It looks bad for the Giants offense, but let's see what has been going on for the 49ers. And the big thing that's jumping off the matchups page for me, guys, is just CM Sizzles with 85% of the snaps so far in the season, getting the workload, getting the elite workload. What is happening? 20% target share. 85% of the snaps.
He's a stud. He's been even more of a stud than we could have ever imagined for the 49ers. And it's interesting because we've typically seen them spread the ball out more. A lot of it's funneling through CMC. So, those rumors and, those thoughts have kind of been put to bed because he has been the guy.
I will say, just wait. They will eventually cede some touches to Eli Moore. And I think this is an Elijah Mitchell, not Eli Moore. This is an Elijah Mitchell. I'm interested situation right now, but because of the blowout.
Right. Kyle Shanahan said this week that they need to get Eli Mitchell more touches. So, I mean, that could just be coach speak, but in a game like this where it's a blowout, right? We could potentially see more Eli Mitchell here. So I think he's a viable play at least this week.
He's most definitely a viable play in the showdown. We're going to need some 49ers onslaughts going on here. But one of the nice things about the 49ers team is this is another no-turd zone team. I talked about this when the Vikings played the other day. I don't remember who the other team was. We made the no-turd in the winner last week on Thursday night football as well. This is a no-turds team, this San Francisco offense. They really operate just through these four guys. So it's Samuel, Ayuk, and Kittle. And as we look at the usage, you can see this is exactly how it goes. You've never seen anything like this. 25% target share to Debo, 28% to Ayuk, 21%. Then you got 17 and 3, and that's 100. It's just this little group. They don't throw anybody else. You don't need to know about the turds. You don't need to know about any of it. All you need to know is it's either going to McCaffrey, Debo, or Ayuk, or Kittle. It's just those 4.
And I think this only reflects the week 1 stats, but again, story's still the same. Like it funnels through those guys.
Yeah, this hasn't necessarily updated, but like these numbers are in effect the same. You're seeing a ton of work for Christian McCaffrey, just not much else for the turds on or the other ancillary players on San Francisco. And again, for this game, the only one that's really jumping out for me is Elijah Mitchell, just in the case of if we think it's going to be the blowout that it probably is, alongside the coach speak, alongside the why bother destroying Christian McCaffrey in a game where you're favored massively. So I think, and plus, one of my best showdown wins ever was a fade of Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey, I can remember it so well. Christian McCaffrey versus Tampa Bay.
Yep. I never forget it because Tampa did stop the run and they were known, and they just didn't run Christian McCaffrey in that game because they're like, it's Thursday.
There was weather. It was super ugly. I think it was 17-16 or something like that.
That was a great one.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there were no other studs in it. It was really a great one. But let's take a look at the Giants. So Daniel Jones comes out of his shell last week.
Look good. Looks like the Daniel Jones we wanted to see.
We've been waiting for this. He comes. He emerges from his cocoon with the confidence that gives me confidence, Bobbywow, that maybe Fields will wake up at some point in the middle of one of these games. The confidence will return. Oh,
maybe I heard today, maybe in a Jets uniform.
That would be unbelievable. I will take it.
I'm reporting what I heard on Twitter. Garrett Wilson recruiting him. I don't know.
Send him here. You guys hate him? Send him here.
No.
I'll take it.
Oh my gosh.
So happy. Would be so happy. Send him my way. But
that just ruined my day.
Daniel Jones had an awakening last week in the second half of the game. He remembered he remembered who he was at the end of last season. Historic comeback game, amazing, outstanding. Actually saved my parlay, which was also awesome because I had the Giants and I had the Giants getting some points, but it looked like it was going to go. So he saved my parlay, which I will forever appreciate.
So thankful.
It's like he knew. And he looked really good. He's running. He's doing his thing, right? As far as the pass catchers, it's pretty much an even split at this point between Slayton, Hodgins, and Perez, Campbell, where it's hard to really pick one that's better than the other two. It seems like it's about the same. Where maybe I'd put Campbell at the bottom of that trio, but just barely. Bobbywow, did you notice anything different about the wide receiver distribution?
No, I think you're right on with that. And, that's the thing we're going to see with this slate as we look to get different. Those guys are all in play. I mean, those are all big play potential guys, and they're, relatively inexpensive, given what we see for the 49ers. So you nailed it with the spread. But again, all of them we'll have to pay attention to in tournaments as we look to get different.
Yeah. And last week, Waller also came out of his shell a little bit, had a great game. Finally
really likes him.
He's an alpha.
Yeah.
He is also a guy that when he speaks, you give him respect. He's a man. He's a man's man. He's been through a lot. And you ever kind of run into somebody who's just been through more shit than you, and you should just shut the fuck up when they're speaking and kind of don't disrespect. I feel like that's that's Waller. When he's talking to you, you're like, respect, bro. You know what I mean? He's just been through some shit. So a lot of juice for Darren Waller, and he did come out of his shell a little bit last week as well. The Giants don't do a whole lot either that are going to shock you. But what we do need to figure out, I don't know how important it is. So I guess I got to see some salaries, but we got to figure out the running back situation for the Giants. And again, it's not that important because this is the 49ers. They're probably going to stop the run and just stuff the Giants right up. Yeah. Anyway, but who is it? Breida? Is it Brightwell? Who's the guy?
It's going to be Breida. They trust Breida. They've already named him as the starter. And he's been in this spot for them before. He played this role last year for several games. So it'll be Breida first and foremost. But it's different, Geek, than Monday, where Ford was the RB2 and he was min price. you are going to lose your mind at how high Gary Brightwell is priced. So
I'm scared to look.
Even Matt Breida is priced up. Like
Brightwell is priced up. Wait a minute. First
Brightwell is more than Eli Mitchell.
2 times more.
2 times more.
What? Oh my
Gary
god.
Brightwell is 2 times more expensive than Eli.
I like
Mitchell.
it. You know why I like it?
I like
Because I feel like we're gonna get Eli Mitchell
At 4 million% ownership.
at no
Exactly.
ownership.
That's the problem.
At no ownership.
Maybe
They're gonna go for the Giants guy. They're gonna go for the fact that Christian McCaffrey is getting all the touches. And by the way, let me just congratulate us on the Ford call from Monday. It's not that we knew or expected that we on the show on Monday, we literally said Ford is the best value on this entire slate. Didn't know he was going to come in because of the injury. Just in general, he was already the best value in the slate at 2,300. And then, of course, everybody who played him, like we had members, they were showing me tournament takedown screenshot. I don't even have them to show here, but they were like, I got emails, DMs. Like, if you look at the video comments too, it's like, dude, you guys did it again. I love it. I love helping people. I had a pretty good 2-game slate as well. I couldn't take it down, but I was in like 28th, 35th. You know, I was dancing all over the top 100, but you know, it's not even any. It's like second place is first loser. No one cares. So until I got a first place, I'm not even showing it. But no one cares, Bobbywow.
I care.
You care. No one cares.
I just didn't have enough Steelers D.
I had some Steelers D as well. So I had a good slate. But what a call on Ford. So I think Eli Mitchell might be that guy again here. Let's take a quick gander at the domination station. Does the cheat sheet show the ownerships? You know what?
Yep, cheat sheets have it. Cheat sheets have it.
Okay, it's on the cheat sheet. So we'll go straight to the sheet here. Let me get this larger if I can. No, that's
I don't know. Use your little keyboard tricks.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. When I make it too big, I can't. It won't fit the screen. So it gets like too big and I can't see the name. So this is about as big as I can make. That's okay.
Yep.
That's okay. Deal with it. That's why you got to have a DFS Army subscription. You get all of our cheat sheets, all of our stuff. They change all the time. Plus, in the chat, we're dropping truth nuggets and news bombs right before lock on all of these different slates. Like if you were sign up at DFS Army VIP, promo code up north, 10% off.
Are we? I think we're still doing NFL 23, aren't we?
No, NFL 23 is over. The big discount's done. Now you get the 10%er or nothing. Pay full price, or sign up for free. Use a free code.
Yeah, get a free code.
Yeah, there's a free month. If you click right up there, there's a way to get a free month of DFS Armies. You want to do that before you pay. Get the free month. I like it. I would do it. I would get the free month.
See what it's worth.
Take the same $70, put it on Prize Picks, or put it on Sleeper, and then play it on Sleeper.
You get a match too.
Yeah, play it there. You get $140. I mean, it's crazy not to do that. Anyway, starting at the top, Bobbywow, the ultimate captain play may or may not be Christian McCaffrey. You tell me yes or no.
Look, I think we need to split this slate into two. One, with Christian McCaffrey as the expected GOAT, the expected top scorer, and then two, the get different approach, which again, talking tournaments, that's the approach that I want to take. So yes, Christian McCaffrey, undoubtedly the best play on the slate, highest projection by far. He's a beast. So if we're just looking strictly at the best play, it's CMC. I don't know. Would you guys disagree?
On a raw points per, I don't know about the salary component, but on a raw fantasy projection level, he is by far the best play.
Yep.
But on a points per dollar basis / putting a 13-2 guy in the captain spot and looking at what you can afford after you do that, he may be a bad play.
Could be. The issue is that the guys below him are not expensive. There's nobody over 10K outside of Danny Dimes. He's barely over 10K. So that mitigates some of that high price. But no, you're right on. That's true.
Yeah, I can't know until I try to put a lineup together. But on a raw point, but I would say this as well. Brandon Ayuk outscored Christian McCaffrey week 1.
Yeah.
It's possible.
And by the way, Debo might have outscored him in week 2.
Oh, it was close.
Not sure about it, but I don't think it was so far off.
Close enough to matter. Yeah.
Yeah. And certainly on a points per dollar basis, that would have been the play. So it is not a lock button that you have to play. The other thing is, again, if San Francisco is dominated defensively, there is that chance that they shift away from piling all this work onto the 28-year-old sort of Ferrari, and they bring in the old station wagon. Bring in the beater, throw them in there. The work car.
I mean, obviously we're not there yet, but do you think this is a captain question? Is CMC the guy? I mean, obviously we have to build here in a minute, but is CMC the guy in cash? Do you think, Bobby?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
I don't
it doesn't make any sense
that.
not to, at least as far as as I'm looking at it and trying to build lineups myself.
I agree with that as the correct cash play. Now, Bobbywow, you've got Danny Dimes as the 10K, very expensive, as the number 2 option as far as captains go. So talk me through that, because we all saw him have the game of the week last week.
To me, he's the ultimate pivot. I mean, Danny Dimes, the beautiful thing about him is because of his rushing ability, he could get it done in a blowout loss. I mean, they were losing 28-7. And, we saw him put up some big stats, ended up winning that game. But, he's well in play, as one of the ceiling guys. So he's my favorite pivot off of CMC. And again, we don't need the game to be close necessarily for him, to hit value and hit his ceiling. So I love me some Danny Dimes and his rushing ability, especially with no Saquon. He's going to have to carry a lot of that lift. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, there's no one else. I don't know if there's going to be much lift for the Giants offense, but if it does happen, it's going to be all Danny Dimes carrying it. I'm really curious, though, to see what some of these cheapo salaries are. But continue on. Again, I'm going to say this like I say it every single time. I don't get the Brock Purdy thing here. I don't think he belongs in the captain discussion. So while he's there and he's a 2-star play, which is they don't spread the football around enough for the quarterback to be the nuts. And if we looked at the DFS spreadsheets showdown breakdown statistical sheet, which I don't know if it's available, I would borderline be certain that Brock Purdy has never or could never be the nuts captain on DraftKings.
I fully agree with you. And I think he might have been once last season. But again,
once.
He's on there in light of this whole idea of getting different. Like if McCaffrey's failing, one of the reasons would be, maybe Brock Purdy's spreading around some touchdown love. So that's really the only reason he's in there. And I'm with you. I do not prefer that.
He's just not a spread it around. He just doesn't spread it around that much. Like, it could happen. Like Kittle could get one. Debo could get one. Ayuk gets one. McCaffrey gets one. And they all catch the touchdown pass. And then it winds up being Purdy who outscores them all. But it is a thin line. And I believe that line is thinner than his ownership projection.
Yes.
So for me, I would be out on that. But there aren't that many options here, as you could see. You forced a few in here that maybe don't even really have much of a chance of getting there. But Ayuk, so what's the story? He's a game time decision, shoulder issues?
Yeah, it sounds like he's a true game time decision. People are saying he's iffy to play. So that'll be really interesting to watch. But my assumption is he plays. What are you hearing, Josh?
I mean, I'm seeing now he was, they had estimated practice right this week because of the Thursday game. So Monday he was non-participant. Tuesday, they said maybe limited, but I think he plays, right? I mean, I think it gets interesting if he doesn't. There's some sneaky value there in guys like Jawan Jennings and Ronnie Bell, but I think he goes here.
If he doesn't play, aside from the sneaky value guy, and Jawan would be probably that guy, I think it's really Debo and especially George Kittle that will massively get elevated for me, especially Kittle. Kittle, for some reason, whenever one of these wide receivers out, Kittle just goes bananas.
Well, it's got to be. I mean, I don't know. This is maybe more anecdotal than anything, but he blocks more than a lot of other good pass catching tight ends. So when they get maybe their game plan changes a little more, they run more heavy set with like Ross Dwelly in there, and they let Kittle run more routes, right? Because they just don't have that other pass option.
Could be. Yeah, I don't. You know what? That's a great theory.
I don't know though when they have everybody going.
Yeah. He loves to block, man. Kittle enjoys.
I think
that
George
aspect
Kittle
of
just
the game.
likes football. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he just looks like he's having the time of his life all the time.
Love George Kittle, by the way. He's just a player to like. Darren Waller had the big game last week, Bobbywow.
Yeah, I don't mind him. Again, in a get different approach a little bit. He's a guy that I have some interest in, given the Giants are going to be coming from behind. So
yeah, I think
it's another option.
I think that, we potentially, right? Like, if this defense is could we see them getting like a pick six here, and now we get extra reps for the Giants and more time of possession and things like that. So yeah, I don't mind throwing a dart here, or maybe this is just a lower scoring game than everybody's projecting.
Okay. These Giant players as a captain, like Matt Breida, 7K?
Right?
Spicy.
Isn't it crazy?
Hell no, fuck with your shit. Hell no, fuck with your shit.
Hell no. I'm fucking with his shit. No way. That's ridiculous. What Matt Breida at 7K against San Francisco?
It's wild.
Hey, Kyron Williams got it done last week. Why not
get it
Breida?
done last
Yeah,
week? You know what?
true.
I was thinking the same thing about Kyron Williams. Like, that's a terrible matchup.
Here's what I love about Breida, and this applies to the flex as well. That dude runs and plays hard. Every time he touches the ball, he is fighting tooth and nail for extra yards, and he is a capable pass catcher. Toward the end of last season, he had an 8-target game. So, look, he's not a great play. He's no Saquon Barkley, but I love how the dude plays football, and I think it could get interesting given what Kyron did last week.
I don't think I see on this Giants offense the 20+ point upside that he's going to need to deliver in the spot against that elevated salary. I mean, I'd feel a lot different if this was 3K or 2K.
That's the beauty, though. No one's gonna be on him, so you don't have to play a ton of Breida to get a little bit of leverage.
It's not a reasonable price point. George Kittle, though, I do like. I mentioned it before. It seems like whenever somebody is out at wide receiver, it's not the other wide receiver that benefits on the 49ers, but it's for some reason it's Kittle. So I'm going with your theory up north, and I think George Kittle is a very exciting and interesting, super, super low owned 3% captain that I can get on board with.
Too cheap.
Yeah,
too cheap on both sides.
Like, you're paying more for Gary Brightwell.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's ridiculous because they didn't know. Hodgins, Slayton, Paris Campbell. Listen, if you want to get crazy,
look,
any one of them.
Puka and Tutu Atwell combined for 22 catches and 225 yards last week. That's all I'm saying. Don't get nuts.
You're saying
sprinkle some in.
One
5%
or two of those guys and played 2 lineups. Like, you're way over the field.
You're saying they're just going to get a couple of touches, a few touches.
The only guy that I think maybe you could talk me into here that's not listed, and which is there's obviously a lot of guys listed, but I think Eli Mitchell is an intriguing captain play. I like him in the flex, but at the super cheap price, what you can do with the rest of your lineup, like you're assuming this is going to be a blowout. Maybe Mitchell ends up getting that first touchdown and then gets the work later in the game. Like I could be talked into a cheap Eli Mitchell.
Yeah, it could be interesting. I see him down there, priced kind of low.
His sportsbook line is 27.5 rush yards right now, and Matt Breida's is 32.5.
That's a real poor line for Matt Breida.
Jeez.
I mean, as the starter, that's brutal. Matt Breida is not big. He is a tiny running back. I don't think he's even 200 pounds. Hang on.
I appreciate you saying 200 pounds is tiny, though. Thank you.
I mean, listen.
I consider myself a running back too.
He's larger than I am as a human being, right? Like he's a. Hang on, let me see if I can. Breida.
Yeah, what's Breida's?
I'm just looking up his size here. If I could spell his name properly, it could
I thought
happen.
he was older than that. He's only 190. Man, we're like the same guy. How tall is he?
This is what I'm saying. He's 190. He is not a large man. That's why I'm like, he's going to be the starter. He is a scat back.
Oh, we are for real the same size.
He is not built
crazy
to start.
4.3840. That's me too.
Yeah. 40 inches? 40 feet. You ran the 40 foot.
I got it. 4.38. I'm in.
40-foot.
Probably
guy.
a half inch taller than him. I think I'm 5'9 3/4.
I run like an NFL offensive lineman.
I don't even know if I run that.
Legit, every offensive lineman in the NFL would outrun me. Every single one of them, even Mekhi Becton. Like, I'd be like, dude, I could beat this guy. He's like 350 pounds. He just fly. I'm like, oh shit, no, that's right. They're athletes. They're all so much.
Can we talk about that? Like, I mean, obviously we're getting off track here, but like, we got guys that are like that in the NFL now, and then there's guys like Tony Saragusa who played literally like less than 15 to 20 years ago. Like, that's how much the NFL's changed.
I was at the Draftkings.
Pat Williams.
I was at like the golf outing for Draftkings recently, and former Giants offensive lineman Sean O'Hara was there at hole number 4. I've mentioned this before, but I was expecting a big, pudgy, round-faced fellow, and instead I got like the Hulk. It was like not Bruce Banner. He had transformed into the Hulk. I was like, oh my God, this is like a specimen of manliness. What the hell is going on here? But I didn't realize, but that's what it is now. These guys, and they're a little heavier when they play because they're forced them to be, but like these guys are a lot of these athletes underneath.
Yeah, a lot of these offensive linemen too, like they end up being done, whether it's college or in the pros, and they drop 100 pounds.
Yeah, they make them hold the weight.
Yeah. It's crazy
for the game. Like, yeah, a lot of these guys do that. It's really interesting.
All right, back on track here.
Yeah, let's get back on track here, Waller. So let's get into some of these spots in the flex, Bobbywow, that we're going to need to use, and then we'll build a lineup, of course, as always, that we're going to need to use to make a lineup work. And then I was going to get general thoughts on how you think this game is going down. But George Kittle, I already mentioned at 660. Breida at 7K is going to be a stretch for me. What about the trio of pass catchers, Hodgins, Slayton? Do you agree with the salaries they put on these, Bobbywow? Like, do you think one is that much better than the other? These kind of belong where they are. Jalen Hyatt in the middle. I don't know what he's doing there.
I think slight edge to Slayton, but otherwise, nothing notable to me. Even him, he's not like, far and away better, but he just seems like the guy that could break a big play, and he's got some familiarity with the offense.
Yeah. Hyatt did bust one last week, but like
doesn't mean anything.
No.
49ers defense. I don't know which. By the way, I think Hodgins is the best of the Giants wide receivers, but he's also the most expensive. Let's see the projection. You're right. Slayton is projecting the best out of all of them.
Sure.
But what's projecting better than all of those wide receivers? 49ers defense.
Maybe the highest priced defense we've seen in a long time.
They belong as a captain play as well.
Oh, jeez. Too pricey, man.
It is expensive.
It's tricky.
It is expensive.
They got 4 picks this year. Danny
one nice thing about the 49ers, though, I will say this. I will say this about the 49ers. They continue to try to score no matter what the game situation is. It's not like they don't push the issue. They're just like, we're doing our thing, and they keep scoring. They're not game flow dependent with their offense operates the same. They might pull McCaffrey and put Eli Mitchell in a little bit more, but even if they're dominating, their offense is going to keep attempting to do what it does.
Yep.
Like they don't slow it down or anything when they're well ahead. So I don't mind 49ers defense in 5-1 onslaught lineups or however you want to do it. Let's see here. Gary Brightwell at 5K.
Wild price.
Can you believe that? I want to vomit.
No, I don't accept it.
Accept it.
No, I don't. Juwan Jennings is another one. Juwan Jennings might catch a touchdown, but for 4,800, he is barely involved in the offense.
I don't know, Geek. He's like one of the best pivots to me. Under 5K, on the field a bunch. Look, you're right. He doesn't see the ball often, but a guy that's on the field as much as he is, he's worth some shots in tournaments.
I'm only interested in Fayouk because they don't throw to him. There's years of data on this. And it doesn't mean he can't catch 1 or 2 passes, but the pop games he's been in this offense for the last few years in this role.
No, you're right. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And he's not even priced as a turd. He's priced expensive. Like the kickers are going to outscore this dude. Speaking of kickers, Graham Gano in a good spot.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jake Moody in a good spot. I think Graham Gano is in a good spot. Moody, because if the Giants fall behind heavy, they just won't even go for field goals.
Yeah, I noted there. I don't know. Gano is interesting on FanDuel too. You'll see his price. He's cheap.
That's weird, but I like it. The last one that I'm super interested in is Eli Mitchell here. And it just, like I said, it gets really ugly after that. But Eli Mitchell, he had no run last week. Nothing. It was all Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, he had 100% of the snaps.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
So now we get, it's a Thursday, right? They just loaded up Christian McCaffrey with volume like a day ago. So does the team say, you know what? It's a short week. We didn't give Christian a lot of rest time. He's old. He's tired. He's got some health issues in the past. Let's lighten the workload on Thursday night and bring out Elijah to take on the beating in a game where we're favored massively and it should be a cakewalk.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. And I bumped him up to 3-star too. This is an old, antiquated version of the sheet, Geek, but
antiquated.
Oh, you did.
No,
yeah,
I think you're right. I think he's the best, most viable punt down here below 2,500, no doubt about it.
Get it straight, Buster. I'm not here to say please. I'm here to tell you what to do.
Well, I like the new addition to the video. I haven't seen that one yet.
That was me telling him what to do. Play Elijah Mitchell.
Play Eli Mitchell. What has happened to Sterling Shepard? He was like the wide receiver 1 in this offense last year.
That's sad.
It could come back.
I mean, he could, right?
It just this week, all of a sudden, like he's still a good player, but I think they're too nervous to give him a lot of snaps. He just tears his Achilles.
Yeah.
He tears his ACL every year. It's like an annual thing. It's usually week 3 or 4. Like this is around the time of the annual ACL tear.
Yep.
He's had so many ACL replacements. Like cadavers from around the world have given up those ligaments.
Here's the thing.
And playing football.
It's deceiving too. He's old. He's going to be 31. So, he's getting up there in age.
Can't trust him. Is there anything down here in the super cheap zone that can be? Yeah, Daniel Bellinger. So you want to talk about a turd that I think has life? I'm okay with Daniel Bellinger for 2 reasons. One, he's very, very inexpensive. 800. If I needed to go in this super cheap, I mean, Sterling probably would be in that mix as well. But Bellinger is on the field for the Giants quite a bit as well, like 40 to 50% snap count.
Well, yeah, because Waller's not going to block.
Really. Waller's not much of a blocker. And so like, this isn't the kind of game where Bellinger should do well as Burns has been very clear with us, target those tight ends, especially this kind of teams that score occasionally, like favored teams.
If Bellinger scores, it's a play action on the goal line that they bring him in to make it look like they're running Saquon, and then he rolls out and catches a touchdown.
Right? That's exactly the play. But will they be on the goal line in this game?
That's the hard part, right?
Yeah. So it's a tough ask. All right. So having talked through this, and we
didn't talk about Kyle Juszczyk though, because he ruins every single showdown slate. Like, don't forget, he will ruin a slate here.
I hate him.
I hate him
so much because they refuse to price him up a little bit.
You guys hate Tay Also, but
that's a
similar player. I like Kyle Juszczyk more than Tay.
Oh my god! All Taysom does is produce. I don't know what's not to like about a guy like you. Get mad every time he produces.
Most of the time, I'm just on their quarterback, and then I have to deal with Taysom coming in and running into the line and wasting a play down in the red zone. Like,
one more super quick note is that the guy that would come in for Ayuk, likely Ronnie Bell. The dude saw the field a bunch last week. He came in, he got the extra snaps. Admin price, if Ayuk is out or he could get hurt again, blowout, whatever. Ronnie Bell's the guy that would come in and take the majority of those snaps.
Does he get a target when he comes in the game?
Did you put in there the Ray McLeod 49ers defense pairing that we would like to do on the punt returns? Or
I knew you would talk about it. So
can we not do that one?
Hey, that's why the guy played Turpin in the Cowboys D the other night.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
You know what? You're right though. Ray McLeod, a punt return or kickoff return for a touchdown at the $200 level. That's 6 points. Probably enough. Listen, I'm not going
Josh
there,
special.
but I'm not going there.
It's gonna work one day.
All right. So let's
build a lineup here.
Let's build a lineup. But Bobbywow, do you see this? Like, is this an onslaught situation? Should we just be going all?
I don't know.
49?
I don't buy into that. No, I don't buy
either.
into that on a Showdown slate, and especially one like this where we know, Danny Dimes and the Giants, Dable doesn't care. They're down by 50 points. He's running his offense out there, and they're going to be scoring points. So no, I'm not buying into this.
Such a bad spot. It's a short week traveling across the. I mean, it is just.
But is it like they're confident? We saw the Rams. We saw old Matt Stafford and Puka and Tutu Atwell.
They tore these guys
put
up.
A bunch of points against this defense. So bend don't break. Look, no onslaught for me.
Okay. If you start with Christian McCaffrey, you're in effect out of salary like right off the bat. And this is the challenge to me. And I don't even necessarily.
Actually, it's not bad if you are going to say, okay, the 49ers aren't really going to pass the ball a ton, and you go McCaffrey and Eli Mitchell together.
Ugh. You almost
the thing you probably want to do here is 49ers defense.
Yep. And then you can get like Danny Dimes, and it's not the worst build. But
it's not the best build. This is what it is, though. You're constrained. Kicker.
You got to go kicker.
Kittle and a kicker.
Yeah, and George, I like it.
That's not bad.
That price. Look at that. Give me Waller, man.
Can get to Waller.
I like.
Yeah, well, you get Waller because you get
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good lineup.
This is a balanced lineup. Yeah. I might, in a balanced approach, it might not even necessarily. Ooh, if we could have gotten Kittle also.
Oh, that'd have been sexy.
That would have been nice. You can't get there. Let's see here. 49ers defense. Yeah. This is kind of a cool lineup.
I like it.
Very low owned.
No,
but
this is
well for $1 million. I'll take 10%.
Yeah. Well, now 10% of the split between us and 4,000 people that watch this. So I think this is an interesting way to do it. Let me see what this looks like without Christian McCaffrey at the top. So if you want it to be a little different, right? Say, well, Christian McCaffrey, let's pick even one Dimes. Of these other guys. Like,
I like Dimes there too.
Let's say it saves you.
I like Dimes with the 49ers defense there.
Man, I don't have a lot of confidence in Dimes doing another big game here.
Dimes saves you $4,500 off McCaffrey. That's a big deal.
That's a wild number.
It's not even that much, but like I feel like if Dimes is having a game, McCaffrey is in the game.
Yes.
McCaffrey.
At that point, that means
like Waller.
Yeah, you probably want to get Waller in there with him. That's it. There's no money left. We're done.
The line. You only get 3 guys.
Jones, McCaffrey, Waller, 4,700 left. Once again, you're kind of stuck in this zone here where either we have to play like freaking use check, which I'm not going to do. Or
I feel better playing Mitchell and McCaffrey together when McCaffrey's not the captain, though. That feels more acceptable.
Okay, I can abort that.
Because what do you need? 10 points from Mitchell? I think that gets you there.
You might only need 15 points for McCaffrey in this kind of a game. You might not need to score that much. Again, you go back to maybe the Giants kicker or the San Francisco kicker, not the Giants guy. Right?
Yeah, look at that.
And you got space for George Kittle. Oh, yeah.
Or you can go 49ers D instead of the kicker, and you can get like Darius Slayton.
Both ways work.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like both those.
Really interesting. I kind of like this. I like that. I'm putting that in.
Get it.
But I like it. All right. There we go. Let's take a quick glance at the Fanduel Showdown, guys. Just a real quick glance here.
We already kind of live.
McCaffrey is a much better play on FanDuel. Look at that price.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, we haven't seen a 19K, and like I think Mahomes has been there maybe once or twice.
You don't see that every day.
No.
18K player. Unusual. And to understand how the salaries work on FanDuel, it's not forgiving. You need to have some salary relief to make that work. Here's Dimes and Purdy. I think even Purdy's very playable here.
Yeah, more so on FanDuel for sure.
Yeah, much more so on.
Yeah.
I think Purdy's actually good on DraftKings, so we didn't play him. But like, he's probably getting you 20 points. I don't
Maybe.
see any reason why he wouldn't.
Probably not doing Purdy, CMAC, or CMC and Mitchell together, but
Agreed. Kittle's 9K. He's way too cheap on FanDuel. Yeah, he's way too cheap.
what are they doing?
Yeah, I'm looking down here the list. So Breida is ridiculous at 11K again. Right, and then George Kittle at 9K is your salary relief.
Eli Mitchell's so cheap there too, 6,500.
Gano's just okay. I think Moody is the better play, the 49ers kicker.
But look at the savings, man. $1,500 discount.
It is big. You're right. I mean, Gano is rightfully priced down, though. It's going to be the Giants. You never know what happens in one of these games. But the more likely thing is the Giants just not scoring very often. Let's not forget that outside of one quarter, really a half, they played a game and a half of just absolute putrid football. Like, I like Daniel Jones coming off of a big performance, but let's not forget that they were playing Arizona, who sucks. And this is the 49ers, who are very good at football and at defense. And so I don't think they're just going to like allow Daniel Jones to beat them up. The Rams game last week, the Rams were at home. You know, Stafford is surprising everybody. The whole Rams offense is looking way better. It's looking 2 years ago level. It's not looking like what we saw last season. So there's a lot of mystery going on around this Rams team right now. I'm not really sure. They look like a much better team than we all thought they were going to be. So I don't know. Eli Mitchell at 6,500. Again, that is a fair price. He could score a touchdown in this game. I think Mitchell is your best cheapie.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, by a wide.
I like him better than Juwan. I would swap the stars. I like him better than Juwan. I'd give him an extra star. I would have him standing out above.
You've talked me into it.
Yeah, I have him above these other guys, well above Gary Brightwell.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Mitchell is the better. Even though he hasn't gotten snaps, I don't care. We know he will get snaps.
The one thing, yeah, he's going to get him at some point. But the one thing that we haven't really covered yet is, what if we get a Debo game here?
Oh, we essentially got one last week, didn't we?
Right.
To a degree.
Yeah, 22 points. I mean, he had 22 and CMC still had 25, which is wild.
When I broke down, I feel like I nailed in my sheet last week the 49ers. So if you read the notes that I wrote up and what we talked about when we were on breakdowns together or on the Players Club. Actually, I wasn't with the crew last week in Tournament Tactics, but if you watch the Players Club, what I said about the 49ers was this, and it holds true. Number one, they've been scoring 25 to 30 plus points every game with Purdy at the helm. Like, he is executing the offense that they want to execute. That's number one. Number two, they do it by only utilizing 4 positions. The RB, the tight end, the TE1, and then WR1 and WR2. No matter who you slot into those spots, that's the only real people that are being utilized on the 49ers at all. They don't throw to the WR3. They don't almost ever throw to the TE2. They just don't. So you can count on them scoring 3 or 4 touchdowns and it going to those 4 people. So now it's just a question of, could it be Debo for 2? Sure. If one of them's out, could it be Kittle for 2? Of course. Kittle at 8K, if he does it, he could be the nuts MVP. Kittle has put up MVP level scores. If they go away from Christian McCaffrey, now I said RB because it could be McCaffrey or the second. It doesn't matter, the RB position, but that's all they do in San Francisco. They don't spread it around. They're not mysterious, and this has been going on for years. At some point, we have to start understanding that a pattern is more than just a random occurrence with this team. This is just what they do. So you can count on it going to Ayuk or again, if Ayuk is out, Samuel and Kittle are going to get generally those looks. Yep. So elevate them both. So I think coming back to the FanDuel discussion, Yeah, 4.5 for Christian McCaffrey, Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy, very much in the mix as well, though. And it will take, Debo, Ayuk, or I wouldn't have Waller here, but Debo, Ayuk, or Kittle. I would have Kittle over Waller, and I don't think Breida is really an option either for me personally.
Maybe.
I would just have Kittle in there because I think it could randomly just be him. And I've seen Kittle go off for 28 to 32.
Yeah. We very rarely see a tight end on FanDuel, but Kittle is one of those guys that we've seen do it.
It's happened. Kittle and Kelsey are like the only two that have ever done it.
Maybe actually, I mean, I think Darren Waller might have done it once too, but
Yes.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he has.
On FanDuel?
Yeah, I think so with the game with the Raiders.
The 14 the 20 target game. That was like one game.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could happen. But I think that the guy that allows you to make the lineups, Bobbywow, I think it's also Kittle and Elijah Mitchell, and then maybe Graham Gano. Let me see if I can load up FanDuel real quick. I didn't.
Let's get a build here.
Yeah, I didn't prep my screen for FanDuel, and it's like not the easiest site to open.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel like I always have to log in, and then I never remember my password.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
It's such a
they are elite in being annoying. About authorization code.
I was like earlier today, I was on it like this morning, and like an hour later, I had to re-sign in again.
Yeah,
I
have to type in an authorization code.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually don't mind the authorization code part because less likely for people.
I do because I work in a school and there's like a bomb shelter. I can't ever get anything in there. My phone doesn't work.
Wait, is this? No, this is all the games. Hulu Plus live TV challenge. What the heck?
Yeah, I saw that in there. Free. I'm gonna win $10,000 for free.
Wait, can I win some Hulu Plus? Like, I got the Hulu.
You have to have every streaming service.
I get them. I don't have Paramount.
Oh, I do because they have kids shows on there.
Do that? Yeah, I was like, I kind of want the Star Trek stuff, but I started watching one of their Star Trek ones that they have, and it's horrible. So I was like, man, I used to love this. I used to watch like The Next Generation with my grandfather. It's a lot of like nostalgia for me, but these modern ones are just horrible. I'm like, why did they ruin this? They ruined everything.
Can you make a lineup with CMC at 19,000? Does it work?
So when you put in CMC, you are immediately down to 10.5K.
Can you make a lineup with CMC and Daniel Jones?
Not a chance. No, you're down. Well,
maybe.
Wait a minute. I don't like this approach, but in order to do it, all right, we're at 8,600. We already mentioned Eli Mitchell. Okay. George Kittle.
The 49ers aren't going to pass the ball, Bobby. It's fine.
10-5 for your last spot. Okay, you can do it. And get San Francisco defense in there.
You know what's kind of shocking here?
I don't like it, but what do you think?
I don't hate it, but Daniel Jones
flip Danny and McCaffrey, and I'm interested. I kind of like Danny.
Me too. And Danny Dimes. I just looked at it, but FanDuel. I'm a little surprised that Dimes' passing prop is 215.
I'm telling you.
No, it's not. If he's doing it, it's via the run. It's not the pass.
I know, but like 215 plus the run, like that's what I'm saying.
You could probably bet the under on that passing prop.
It's minus 115 on both sides.
Hold on.
49ers are bend, don't break.
Over 37.5 rushing. Dimes is a good play this week.
Here you go. Wait. Let's see what the sharp app
says.
Okay. So if you look at the Proptimizer on the sharp app, we have Dimes projected for 195 passing yards.
So it likes the
under 215. For Brock, also unders across the board.
Game total is only 44 and a 10.5 point spread. So
wait, let's look at rushing yards real quick because I think that is important for Danny Dimes. First of all, we're not projecting Eli Mitchell very well at 17. That's because the model looks at his usage and is like, they're not using this guy.
Sure.
But the odds makers have it at 28.5 for Eli Mitchell, which is a good number.
Yep.
This is a number that Danny. Where's Danny Dimes? Hold on. Dimes over 37.5 rushing yards. That's a big number.
Fairly big favor. He's minus 125 on that.
Yeah, that's a big number. And CM Sizzles at 78.5 on the and we're right there at 75. So kind of expecting him to do as expected. Yeah. Brock Purdy, over 7.5. Has he even had one rushing yard ever? I think I want to bet the under.
Oh, man.
Eli Mitchell, though, this is the one I wanted to see. This is a real rushing prop.
Yep.
I mentioned Eli Mitchell so much. I feel like now my brand is going to be Eli
I know,
Mitchell.
I'm concerned. We have talked about him a lot.
Saying his name.
If Eli Mitchell bombs out here with like 4 yards, nobody's going to watch
no
this
snaps.
anymore.
He gets nothing. Not one snap. Geek, how'd that Eli Mitchell play work out for you? Didn't work out well.
Yeah.
I'm not touching him in cash, but he's a great tournament.
I would agree.
Yeah. But 28.5 yards. If you think he's such a bad play for everybody watching,
At the under.
Instead of the hate in the comments, which I appreciate as well. I love any comment, love or hate. But instead of the hate in the comments, go out and bet it. Here, it's available for you at 28.5. You can bet it. You can bet it on 28.5 yards on DraftKings Sportsbook right there. So that is available for anybody who wants to do it. My feeling is that's a good enough number that if I'm paying $2,400 on this kind of slate where there's no other players that are cheap that are even really reasonable, or that I want to play, Christian McCaffrey, some other thing, that's a good spot. But any final thoughts, guys, before we see them at the top of the leaderboard?
I'm
I
excited.
think we covered it. Yeah.
So my final thought would be make sure to build for a few different scenarios. One scenario that we want to build for, though, is the 49ers dismantling of a shitty Giants team, which I believe is the most likely way that this game goes. That's Giants unders. That's the 49ers dominating. The Giants looking like shit, like they did in the first game, the entirety of it. 5-1 onslaughts that include 49ers defense, Eli and Christian McCaffrey, because they just bring in Mitchell late. That's how I would build that onslaught approach. The second one, and I think this is more the Bobbywow, kind of the way you probably see it going down, is a little more balanced. Dimes running for the 40 yards that he's projected to run for, maybe a little bit more, building off of last week's good game, building off the fact that the 49ers have shut down no one, or didn't shut down the Rams at least last week, so they're not that nasty. And building a little more balanced approach, which would have a Daniel Jones in the lineup. Because if the Giants are doing well this week, one thing you can guarantee is that it's because of Daniel Jones. It ain't because Matt Breida and his 190-pound frame is slicing through the 49ers defense. It's not possible.
We're the same person.
Literally, DFSupNORTH is the same size,
same guy
as Matt Breida.
That makes me want to play Breida more.
Yeah, I'm the same size as Tank Dell.
Oh, you also could play in the NFL.
I could have been I'm sick over it. Sick over it. I didn't know that 5'7".
Like when they were comparing Trump to Lamar Jackson's body type.
I didn't know that at 5'7" I was eligible
to play in the NFL.
Listen, I haven't done the athletic metrics. I can't guarantee that I have the same speed and athleticism. Listen, I can't guarantee that I don't know. Haven't been checked.
No one's saying that you don't.
No one's saying yes or no there, but I'm just saying I didn't even know it was a possibility until now. You know, I'm the biggest Tank Dell fan.
I like him.
Love him.
Oh my gosh.
Love the little guys.
I love it.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
Good luck this week. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you actually at the top
Monday
of the leaderboards. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. People are complaining they don't get the video as soon as it comes out. That's because you didn't hit the notification bell. You got to be subscribed and then notified. And then it's going to make a little bell. It's going to ping. Live videos going live. It's going to be the bell's going off in your house. What's that?
Notification
What's
on your watch.
Somebody at the door? First, you're going to think somebody's at the front door. Let me go answer the door. Then you're like, wait, who shows up at your door in 2023? Are you fucking crazy? Get the gun. And then you're like, no. Don't need the gun.
Check your ring doorbell.
Not the door. DFS Army's busting out a new video and the notification bell is ring. By the way, don't you go get the gun when the doorbell rings? You're like, who the hell is that?
I checked the doorbell cam.
Yeah, you're on the thing. Like, what kind of lunatic is showing up unannounced at my house? What kind of criminal is standing at my front door? Like, there's no answering.
Somebody trying to sell me Jesus or something else.
I don't know what they're talking about, but whatever they're selling, I don't want it. All right. We'll see you guys next time.